You eat could have a bigger impact on bone health than more so than exercise, and this has some experts concerned because milk alternatives are so popular right now, which means that a lot of people may not be getting enough calcium in their diet.
All right, joining us now, nutritionist Sherry Bookvar, and it's true, there are so many types of milks now. You go to the coffee shop, they've got soy, almond, oat, dairy, low-fat dairy.
The amount that you see.
Everything.
Yeah, so it was interesting. So this study came from the University of Michigan, and researchers looked at mice who were fed either a regular diet or a supplemented diet with minerals. As well as looking at exercise, and they found that after 8 weeks, that in conjunction with the exercise, those that had the mineral supplemented diet, in particular calcium and phosphorus, had stronger bones and overall were stronger. And even after the study stopped the mice on exercise 8 weeks later, those with the supplementation that continued still had stronger bones.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so you know, it's important to look at this when we're putting this into practice, into play, especially for people that don't drink regular milk, which has about 300 milligrams of calcium. What you really have to do when you're looking at these milk alternatives is look at the percentage calcium on a nutrition facts label. It's based off of 1,000. So if something is fortified with calcium, you'll be able to see, let's say an almond milk that has 45% calcium would actually have the 450 milligrams. But if something is not fortified, it could have 0, it could have 10%. I really encourage my clients to always take a look if you're trying to meet your calcium needs.
So that's specific to dairy milk? I didn't even think of that.
Yes, specific to actually to any packaged food. If you look at the nutrition facts label on the bottom where there's a percentage, if it's 10, it says 10%, that means there's 100 milligrams.
Okay.
If it's 40%, there's 400 milligrams. So if you're looking at a typical adult that would need, let's say, between 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams a day, it's a great way to calculate to see if you're meeting your calcium needs. If you're not, well, then maybe you have to think about supplementation.
There are other food sources for calcium, which we never talk about.
Okay.
It's always overlooked.
So this is, yeah, I think you'll find this interesting. So for example, kale. People say, well, you can eat kale because it's a good source of calcium. You would need to eat 10 cups of cooked kale to meet about 1,000 milligrams. You would have to have 40 cups of raw kale to meet 1,000 milligrams.
My wife gets her daily allowance.
So, many people do. But I think it's very interesting when, you know, people say, well, what about the vegetable? You know, if you're a vegan, or, you know, if you don't take any dairy at all, you really have to look at that supplementation to make sure that you're getting enough. And always, so you can look at the nutrition facts label, look at the ingredients, calcium, vitamin D. You can also look at phosphorus, and as well as other things on a nutrition facts label. But that it's a very big thing to remember is that you want to meet 1,000 to 1,200 and look at the percentage as compared to 1,000.
Gotcha.
And you can calculate it that way.
Sherry Bookvar.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Love it when you're here.
All right.
I love to be here.
Nick.